And this is not the way we typically like to travel. We like to go a little bit off the beaten path.
Why is everyone going where we want to go? We are starting today looking for a rental car in a bus station.
No,
or a train
in a train station.
In a train station, but there's buses out of here too.
Yeah, it's a central station.
A central station. Because the deal is, what are we going to save, like $800 by picking the car up here instead of at the airport?
Yeah, it was going to be like 1,100 Canadian and it's like $275.
Wow, so we're going to save a ton of money on the car rental. Now we just have to race to get to car and then get to the ferry because we've got 2 hours to go, an hour drive, plus pick up the car and be at the ferry, they say, a half hour early to get the car on. So we love electric cars except when you're renting them and you pick it up and it's got 34% battery. So thankfully, we think...
Hertz, you did bad.
Where we're going, we don't have time between here and the ferry to get charged up. And there's not a lot of places on the other side of the ferry until our destination. So, cross our fingers, we can pull this off. On the ferry headed over there somewhere between a couple islands.
And I think just over there is the United States.
But it's nice. The food was...
My food was terrible. Yeah, and a quarter to the hour, our ferry was leaving at 10. At 9:45, we got waved on to go park. And then at 10:01, the whistle sounded and off we went.
So we took one cruise, one 3-day cruise.
Yeah, but it was a drunken party boat kind of situation.
Yeah, and I basically said, no, I'm not doing cruises anymore. That's pointless. That's not me.
I went on a whole bunch when I was 18 and 19, but yeah. I had a whole different situation there.
Yeah, but I think Norway, the fjords, and maybe Alaska.
I might actually do a cruise.
Would be cruisable for me.
This is, yeah, because this is incredible. Well, we made it to Victoria despite only having 34% when we left Vancouver earlier today. We took the ferry, which was nice, and now the car is charging down
for the
in
next
the
11 plus hours.
Yeah.
The room is lovely. Good job on that. And we're going to go down and enjoy our drink before our 2 o'clock tour, which I'm excited about because we get like 7 or 8 different restaurants and 10 different snacks to eat on, so it's really lunch for me.
Well, I'm going to need a little bite beforehand because I'm a little hungry.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know why this reminds me of The Shining.
Red rum.
So far in Victoria, we've had oysters at the Empress Hotel, along with our welcome drink from Accor. And then we just had a tasty food tour with Off the Eaten Track. End of our first day in Victoria, and we have driven, we've had a ferry, we went in a pickle boat. Captain Dave was going on a little tour, and so we hopped on board with 3 other people, and he was incredibly entertaining, and it was... Got us breakfast. Day 2 for us in Victoria, British Columbia, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day. We have just checked out of the hotel, dropped our stuff in the car, and we are going to wander. We have a little bit of a dilemma because we just have a couple of hours. So do we go 20 minutes away to the castle? Do we go over to Beacon Hill and see the Moss Lady? The museum is right here, beckoning. And then we
video of museum to come.
So we're halfway through going through the Royal BC Museum, and downstairs there was an exposition on Stonehenge, which I knew nothing about. And then a whole thing on natural history, starting with like the Ice Age. And it was pretty well done, especially if you have kids. So the Royal British Columbia Museum seems to be in a state of transition. We really enjoyed the rebuilt town, but apparently it's as old as we are, and some parts of it are being reconstructed or reimagined because it's whitewashed.
From the 1970s, they've learned a bit about First Peoples, Indigenous persons, etc. So they're working on it. When you walk in, you see this van for Terry Fox. The people in line behind us said, "Oh, Terry Fox is next to God."
We want him on his money. We want him. We want him
he's been
everywhere.
On stamps, exactly. Apparently, the story is he beat cancer once and then started raising funds for cancer to run across Canada. Got about halfway before he succumbed to cancer again, and he's just a national hero.
So we are outside the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia building, which is free to the public. You can do a self-guided tour with a little brochure, or there are free guided tours. And it is a beautiful building. We were able to explore the first floor and the second floor, and the rest of the stuff was blocked off.
Your classic old parliamentary type building.
Well, not quite yet, but we do have our boarding passes for Harbour Air for a scenic tour. Captain Dave said we should do this in Vancouver too, but we might need to get another mode of transportation in.
Yeah, to check for more boxes.
Maybe a bike?
Or a kayak.
Oh, ooh.
What are you doing, Terry?
I pulled my commercially rated helicopter card and I'm sitting in the cockpit with the pilot. That was amazing. I think it's time for me to get my seaplane add-on.
How many seaplanes are in the Bay Area?
Probably not enough, so maybe a dirigible instead?
Yeah, and there's those all over the place. So we experienced the parking lot of the Victoria Butterfly Gardens. And when we ran into 2 tour buses, we said, nay, nay.
We're parked at the Seahorse lane.
Make sure you know which lane you're parked in. There are several.
And we have absolutely no idea what to expect other than everybody said if you're in Victoria, you need to go to Butchart Gardens. So here we are, once again, completely clueless. We probably need to do a little bit more research before we go on some of these trips.
Sunken garden portion of the Butchart Gardens, and it's beautiful, but there's a few folks. Why is everyone going where we want to go?
Because we're going to some popular places, and this is not the way we typically like to travel. We like to go a little bit off the beaten path.
It's not as bad as the Louvre, let's put it that way. An hour and 15 minutes, and that's a wrap for us at Butchart Gardens, which people say take 3 to 4 hours. I'm pretty sure we saw everything. We just did not get into the log jam that was around the Rose Garden, but otherwise we've got to try and find
more
somewhere in between.
Yeah, more off the beaten path. I say we go try the Blue Bayou restaurant that John and Sherry recommended.
Yeah.
So we're moving to Victoria, we're moving to Brentwood. This is absolutely gorgeous. We just had dinner that was delicious at the Blue Bayou Cafe. Thank you, John and Sherry. The suggestions coming.
You get a channel and you're going to put us out of business.
Yeah,
I
but
don't need any more competition. street market, downtown Sidney.
Sydney by the sea.
Sydney by the sea.
Thank you, Carla, at Blues Bayou Cafe for the recommendation. This is
packed.
hoppin'. Oh my gosh. So one of the things that's just been amazing here on Vancouver Island is just how we're never that far from the water. I think we got really, really lucky with the weather.
We're sitting here going, oh my God, this place is just gorgeous.
These are the kinds of days that realtors love because they sell. Basically, you just have to have a desire for connecting with other people all throughout the world. And if you believe in that, the way we believe in that, we would love for you to subscribe. And subscribe to our newsletter on zekeandterri.com.